I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
Hello everyone, this is Brian at Whisper Status 74. Welcome to the community, welcome to the channel. If this is the first time you are seeing me, please consider liking and subscribing. We are Real Tech for Real People. Today's video is some footage of Modern Warfare Remaster on the PC running 4K, 60 FPS, everything is maxed. I'm actually doing a voiceover instead of letting it just play, as the video was hit for copyright. Pretty much from what I can gather, it's due to the story elements of the game. So I figured chop the video down, still deliver it 4K 60, and just describe to you kind of what I'm seeing. Modern Warfare, like many of you, to me was a very, very important title. Modern Warfare being Call of Duty 4. Respawn, Vince Zampella, Jason West, the creators of a lot of the franchise, Medal of Honor, other games. Vince is a genius, so is Jason. This game came out of nowhere. I had played Call of Duty before the Modern Warfare came out and was a huge Halo fan. Not only did the cinematic experience that you're seeing now, the linear story part of it, blow me away, but the multiplayer just changed everything. Halo was like the only game in town for consoles. What's brought me back to Modern Warfare Remaster on PC is my PC has been, I haven't used it much, kind of a credit to the PS5 and the Series X, but I have gone on record saying that both of those consoles, though I do enjoy them, are severely underpowered. Here I am running a NVIDIA GTX 1080 Ti. We are running 4K native 60, all settings maxed, anti-aliasing, everything maxed. I think we're SMA filmic mode. It's the highest anti-aliasing offered, and it absolutely kills it. Where a lot of the consoles now, even when they do remasters or upscales, they're delivering 1440p or 4K 30. So it kind of brought me back to firing up the PC and going back to some of these titles. I wish they had remastered or at least gone back and gave the Series X treatment and the PS5 treatment to the Modern Warfare Remaster, which looks stunning on the PS4 Pro. Was never updated for the PS5 and never updated at all for the Xbox One X. Then with the new consoles, I do think Modern Warfare Remastered 2 looked better on the Xbox One X than the PS5, but it still could have looked better. Modern Warfare being the original title, to me, is infinitely more important. Now, if you know anything about Modern Warfare and Respawn, which is now Respawn, or the original Infinity Ward, was Vince Zampella and Jason West, the founders of Infinity Ward, were fired the day that Modern Warfare 2 was released. There was talk that they were in cahoots with EA, and they fired them. And actually tied them up in court for the next few years prior to Modern Warfare, which took the world by storm. They had non-competes. They were tied up in litigation for years and years and years. It wasn't until the Xbox One launched many years later that they made the amazing exclusive Titanfall. Titanfall, even though I thought was revolutionary, underperformed. And unfortunately, its sequel was sacrificed and released between Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remaster, ironically enough, and Battlefield 1. Titanfall 2 wipes the floor with all those games put together. Just my opinion, obviously. And Vince went on to, make the new Star Wars title from Respawn. He is very successful. And what's interesting is he's been tasked with fixing the new Battlefield 2040, whatever it is, which I don't think he'll be capable of fixing that. But this game was revolutionary. It is absolutely gorgeous. I've taken the audio out just to avoid the copyright. But following in the footsteps of Half-Life 2 and those very cinematic games, they really wove in the story and the action, making it seamless. Heavy on the action, but enough story to keep you involved. It wasn't too over-the-top Michael Bay-ish just yet. That would happen with the next game. But it made you like the characters. And just the graphics in this game, I remember with 360 just being like, wow. Now, returning back to the current consoles, I will get arguments all day about them being underpowered. If you have to remember, me being a TV guy, they were talking 8K. And they were promising 4K 60 and 4K 120. Neither console can actually do even native 4K with any difficult content. They can't do native. It's all upscaling and DLSSR and all this super sampling. So they are excellent. I'm enjoying Dying Light currently. But when you go back to PC and you can lower and increase the settings, you can make the game look better than it's ever looked. You do pay for that. Again, this is a GTX 1080 Ti. This is one of my favorite scenes in the entire game. This is on a C1 OLED. It looks blue because it's on YouTube. It is on Warm 50. This is 83-inch C1 OLED, by the way. And just the atmosphere that these games gave you. They hadn't become too run-of-the-mill yet. And I do like my OLEDs dark. I don't like low contrast ratio. I don't mind crushing the blacks. They're nowhere near as crushed in real life as you see in this video. But I love how the contrast ratio of an OLED makes the image pop. Or in LEDs, you get a really bright one, but if the contrast ratio struggles, all you have is bright and washed out. I want the areas that are dark to be dark. I like how the area is black there, and then it's, not light blue until it's supposed to be under the moonlight. I will be doing much more in terms of gaming this year. When I started the channel, I did gaming videos in between all my TV videos. I want to get back to that. You'll be seeing nearly every major newer display being tested and reviewed this year. But in between that, I want to still be able to show you content on the panels that I have here. The C1 will be here for the next few months. Then I will have something else. But even if I don't have a new TV here, I want to be able to bring you game footage in between. Gaming is a passion of mine. And it reminds me of community when you were younger. And you're like, oh my God, I call my friend. This game is amazing. Now, why I harp a bit on the consoles being underpowered is simple. All of the marketing in regards to it made people feel like their panels weren't good enough. They didn't have VRR. They didn't have HDMI 2.1. They didn't do 120. They didn't have G-Sync, FreeSync. And in reality, it's not really needed. It's always nice to have, but not really needed. So keep that in mind if you want to upgrade and your panel looks great. Don't go chasing 4K 120. Don't chase VRR. This is a PC, and I don't even have VSync enabled, but if I needed to, I can do VSync, G-Sync, whatever I need to do. On console, VSync is forced. You will not have screen tearing. But I much rather have the consoles. You'll see this in the mid-release console refresh. You will see 4K 60 being the, that'll be their goal. But I had these arguments before the consoles came out. Again, I do love them. I love what they are doing, but they're nowhere near touching PCs. Unfortunately for PC, due to the crazy prices with GPUs, and actually every part of PCs right now, and bad PC ports and not really making them efficient or making them run well, it's hurting PC players too because there's just bad ports out there. The reason I haven't upgraded my PC is, again, I have the new consoles and I just refuse to pay $2,000 to $4,000 for a GPU. And for me, they need to annihilate what I have out there. There needs to be 4K 120 easily. I need to see the new ones do 8K if I'm going to purchase one. But again, loving PC, because going back to these titles, a lot of you guys are seeing this with consoles, being able to go back to a game and flex the muscle you have now is what PC is all about. You can go back to Half-Life 2 and all these amazing games and run them as much as you want. And when you get a GPU, when you get a better CPU, the best part about PC gaming is going back and seeing how beautiful you can make that game. And that's not even with mods or anything like that. So for me, I was downloading the remaster on the PS5. I'd gotten a new SSD. Did not love the way it looked, and then went back and grabbed this on PC, and I'm blown away by it. With the anti-aliasing solutions offered here, there is no glimmer, there is no shimmer, there's no jaggies. That makes all the difference to me. Really gorgeous game, fun game to play. It reminds me of other games that came out at the time. You're talking about Spec Ops: The Line. There's a really excellent time in gaming where you had your exclusives for the 360, your exclusives for the PS4, the PS3. But each one had, there was a certain level of games that were out then. It wasn't sequel after sequel after sequel. Modern Warfare was a new thing, which is ironic if you think about it. The Call of Duty games prior to that, World War I, World War II. Now, the game doesn't have HDR. We are in HDR anyway. PC HDR is a mess. It looked the same with it or without it. I love the story of this game. This game was just action-packed, looked amazing, and I want to be able to bring this to you in between TVs. Instead of waiting 3 days to give you content, I want to be able to just, when I sit down to relax and watch a game or play a game, I think of you guys. I want to be able to just share that with you. I want to be able to just say, you know what? I wish these guys were watching that. The problem with being a content creator is sometimes you'll put up a video that you feel really good about and it won't get views. So you start second guessing and you don't really put out those videos. If you have a bunch of videos doing great and you put out one that you feel like it doesn't do well, it's not ego. You just feel like, no one cares. But you have to realize if a few of you guys care, that's really what it's all about, is just sharing. Many of you remember what this game looked like back then. And to see it on a TV like the C1 at 83 inches is amazing. And it does get me excited for consoles as they are going back and trying to do games like Witcher 3, make them basically what the PC port was, years ago. The visuals are just so, they can be made to look so beautiful that the immersion is it's just there. You get so caught up in that world. Now, graphics are not as important as gameplay, but they're pretty important. And personally, I'd be all set with just getting rid of ray tracing on console altogether. I don't know why they're doing ray tracing with 1080p or ray tracing 30 FPS. I'm playing Dying Light 2. I enjoy the game a lot. The game's excellent, but its quality mode looks the worst. Its performance mode is just blurry, has a lot of draw distance, shadow issues. So you have to get used to this semi 4K, 30 FPS, and it still looks really great considering the world is enormous. But having to go with a ray tracing mode just to say you have it, I even feel like PCs made a mistake going with ray tracing because I feel like they got so focused on, they were close to 4K 60 with this card, with the 1080 Ti. And then in the 2080s and those, they were like, oh no, we do ray tracing. And the focus, if you have a monitor, I understand. We went away from 4K 60 to, oh, no, you can do 4K 60 or 1080p with ray tracing. And I was like, why would I want to go back to 1080p? Now, keep in mind, 1080p is not enough for panels the size of mine. To me, 75 and up, 1080p does not look great. 1440p doesn't look great. But just trying to find that medium. The consoles are still not even available for a lot of you. But I do want to be able to bring more content to you. We have a lot of exciting news coming up in the next week. Collaborations. And, we are going to be bringing you lots and lots of content. But I also want to still be able to bring you that we are in the same neighborhood, let's play a game together kind of content. I'll be doing some capture card gaming. Again, a lot of exciting new TVs. But we're going to see those TVs with gaming. You're going to see AK flagships this year with the Series X, with a PC, with a PS5. So I am so excited and so grateful that you guys are there. I also hope all you guys are doing okay coming out of what we've been going through the last few years. I'll be doing a tech therapy vid on that very soon. I do want to know what the struggles are. It's hard to get back into life. I hope all you guys are doing okay. Little drip going on in the back. What are your thoughts on Modern Warfare? Do you have fond memories of the original ones? Are you familiar with the Jason West and Vince Zampella saga? Did you follow Titanfall? Titanfall will be the next one I do with 4K 60. The game looks unreal. That one was actually updated. But I hope you guys are well. I love you guys. I am so thankful for your friendship and for you guys sticking with the community and the family. You guys do mean a lot to me. It's not just a YouTube hobby. You're very important. And thank you so much.